All right, Nick, here we go. Top 9. Trail by 4. Shout out to Chatterbox Bengals. That is tomorrow. Shout out to Chuck and Houdini on what they had to do, basically a damn near funeral show today, I assume. Tough sledding for Cincinnati sports fans, per usual.
We got the Bengals tomorrow. I mean,
yeah, Jamar Chase probably isn't going to play, so hopefully that doesn't go.
Drop them from 8.5 to 7.5 point favorites.
Yeah, maybe they should be fine regardless. But you never know. You never know. You won the other night, by the way, didn't you? You got everything. You got everything you needed to have happen.
Yeah.
Kudos to you for that. Shout out to Northern Illinois for their whole entire alumni and their fan base.
Sure. Sorry, Jimmy.
Yeah. Old Jimmy Collins. Turns out that I just remember him saying that Notre Dame had the best, or that they had the best odds, or however you want to say it, for being the last undefeated team, and all they had to do was get past the first game. Well, that didn't go well.
Little Maction.
Yeah, good old Maction.
I wonder if Edwin's like Alexis in these spots.
Probably not, but maybe. I mean, we are 3-0.
Oh.
Yeah. He almost hit him?
Sure looks like Alexis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sure does, doesn't it?
Like 4-0 game.
Yeah, let's just...
4 straight balls.
Yeah.
Uncompetitive.
Not even competitive either. I mean, not even competitive.
It's a DS thing.
Yeah, runs in the family.
I'm kind of surprised they're using him.
Yeah, he must need work or something. Maybe. I mean, I know.
Maybe they're off Monday. And
yeah, I feel like he must have not really over the last 7 days. Maybe he's only pitched once or twice.
Nice first pitch this week from Steer after a guy throws 4 balls.
I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Come on. Well, they play on Monday in Toronto. This is a little different.
Mean, these are the types of things that you just absolutely lose your mind over if this was meaningful baseball. How does that make any sense?
Yeah. Was that in the strike zone? I didn't actually see the pitch.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay, at least that's the only pitch he's thrown in the strike zone so far.
Correct, yeah. I mean, he's 1 for 5.
Oh.
I got a little help. You're probably like a pitch ahead, maybe.
Oh. All right. Well,
don't need to pause it. You're good. We're good.
We got Diaz here. We got a Diaz.
Oh, base hit. Okay.
That's why, yeah. It's like, man, okay.
This is where baseball's kind of cool. Both fan bases are thinking that there's a chance. The crazy thing is they're a pitch away from just the game being over completely. Yeah. You don't even score a run. What do you think they're saying in there?
Throw strikes, bro.
Let's see how far you can hit it, boss.
Resigns his numbers. Imagine if you're just tuning into this game as a Mets fan system. Wow, this guy must be a superstar.
Yeah, 1,100 OPS. Honestly,
All right,
not
I'm on the 0-1. I'm paused at 12.
0-1,
You're gonna get
18 or 15, 14, 13, 12, 11.
Yep.
Pitch. Swing and a miss. Chat. Good to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying your Saturday. Definitely was a pitch Hines could have hit, but he didn't. That's another one. 100 mile an hour is 100 mile an hour, though, man.
Yeah. It's tough when you've just been sitting on the bench for the last week.
Yeah.
Come in and hit that win.
That probably hasn't helped either, but. Who's after Espinal?
I feel like
Benson?
It was Fraley.
Benson. Fraley.
That is Benson. It was Rosario. I'll save it for the show. I have a thought on like the lineup. I don't. Yeah, I'll do it.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the wall, Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Win! Line to the right field. Junis, the first run ever, with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line, doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first. And Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
All right, here we are. We are going to get out ahead of this one. I'm going to be honest with everybody. I'm here. I'm doing this show because of you in the chat. I knew that if I didn't show up, Nick would be disappointed. Chat would be a little disappointed. But that's the only reason I showed up. And I also want to admit that that I told my son, he asked me right when the Reds game was like in the 7th inning. He's like, can you come outside and play some catch? And I should probably be outside playing catch with my son instead of talking about a worthless baseball team, if we're being completely frank. But you know what? We're going to do a show. It's probably going to last about 15 minutes, and we're all going to get through it together, and we'll be back better than ever at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Nick, I hope your family life's good. I hope any other teams that you enjoy are relatively entertaining, because otherwise, if this is the only thing that you have within your life, it is not good. And if it's not good, I want to get ahead of things as well. Get to the sponsors here before we even get started to make sure we don't forget those before the show ends. 988. It's a very resourceful thing for times like now. If you're ever thinking to yourself that, you know what, it's just not worth it anymore. Please understand that it is worth it. Text or call 988. Life is better with you in it. Mantherapy.org. And if you're looking to go to a game, I'm sure it might not be in Cincinnati the way things have been going. make sure you check out the Game Time app. Use the code Cincy, CINCY. You get $20 off your first purchase because they feel so bad for all of us. Terms do apply, though, just so you know. So there's that, Nick. I got that out of the way. The only other couple things we got left, I think, are the box score recap, the deep drive of the day, and of course, we'll get to who, what, when, where, and why. But I won't even ask you your thoughts. I do care about you, but I'm pretty sure you're in the same boat as all of us, which is just not in a good spot.
Yeah, put 19 games to go. That's about my thoughts right now. Let's power through these.
All right. Take it away,
All
Nick.
right. Box score recap. Cincinnati Reds taking on the New York Mets. Game 2 of 3 at Citi Field in Queens, New York. Jakob Junis was Mr. TBD today, and he was really good in this one. Junis retired the first 11 batters that he faced and had a no-hitter with 2 outs into the 5th before he gave up a double to Jose Iglesias. Junis would strike out Francisco Alvarez to finish off 5 really brilliant innings. Junis' day, however, would be done from there at 73 pitches. Sam Moll came in and promptly gave up a solo home run to the ice-cold Harrison Bader. Moll would then walk and hit a batter, and his day was done without a recording an out. Carson Spires came in. He gave up 2 hits, and the Reds trailed for nothing. Reds' offense was completely shut down by Jose Quintana. He threw 6 2/3 scoreless. The Mets bullpen got the job done. Reds did bring the tying run into the hole in the top of the 9th, but that'd be the closest they'd get. Reds lose 4-0. Reds now 68-75 on the season, and the New York Mets have won 9 straight games.
Deep drive of the day. I know you probably are shocked, but the Reds didn't hit any because they scored 0 runs. And, well, minor league, they don't even really play finished baseball games until now. And if they did today, guess what? We didn't hit any there either. Shout out to Jonathan India's dad. I guess he's happy, so maybe he's the deep drive of the day. Sponsored by DSC. They are a leader, despite the Reds being incompetent. Deep South Commodities, they're a leader in renewable commodities, specializing in biofuel production, used cooking oil, collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com. A couple supers, don't want to miss those either. Fergie Fowler coming in says, blah, 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 excuses. Not sure what that means. Clement's family. Now, this is humor. Curling is more exciting. At least someone is screaming. Not wrong. What was that guy's name? The big curler for the USA. They won the gold medal. Remember that? That was like a wild thing. Anyway, I forget his name. I want to say it was like Hamilton or something. I could be wrong, but that's here nor there. 19 games left, Nick. I think that's the first on the rundown. Let's face it. At this point, the only thing at this point that I really care about is what do we have worth watching, because the Reds were playing okay baseball with Rosario, but now that they're not, seems pretty evident that maybe it's time to just turn this into like minor leagues. Let's worry about development. If they're not even development, let's just see what guys look like for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't like if I have to sit through these games, can I at least just, see if Noel Van Marte can get a hit? Like, I don't care if he goes over 4. Like, at least let me watch the guy that has a potential here. I'm sure what David Bell's thinking is very evident with the way that he put out the lineup today and then how it proceeded as the game went on, is he feels the whole obligation to Major League Baseball that because you're playing a team in a playoff chase, you're supposed to put your veteran guys out there and all that, which whatever. But then after the Reds fall out 4-0, okay, now I can sub in Resigns. Now I can sub in Will Benson, and it's okay. I don't know. It's just like, really, do we have to do this? Like, I understand a little bit more if like we're talking like going to make a major difference, right? I mean, I don't know. I'd prefer to get to see some of these guys take some at bats. I don't know.
Yeah, you have boring lineup in here. It is a boring lineup. It's not. There's nothing really all that exciting to look forward to outside the normal that we've seen all year long. The most disappointing thing is that we've just not gotten any new additions either from the guys that got hurt earlier in the year that we'd like to see. Most notably, Matt McClain and CES. Clearly, they're pretty much out for the season, and it just stinks. Like I don't remember exactly what they said about CES. It's been so long. But I thought that they made a hint at the idea that he could be on track to maybe be available
He could play winter ball.
towards
He could play
the
winter ball or something.
towards the
No,
end of the
he's not.
year / winter ball. Maybe it was never towards the end of the year, but maybe they were just being overly optimistic at the very beginning of when he was getting his hand X-rayed or whatever. But it's here nor there.
They said playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs. Okay, that's right, playoffs.
He has
Yeah, because that's what we would have done.
He has officially started baseball activities. The latest update has a follow-up exam on September 16th to check his progress. So they're hoping like he's at least to the point where he can do a normal off-season type workout here in a month or two. So that's a good thing. I do think that there's something to be said about guys being able to have a somewhat normal offseason. I think Tyler Stephenson's the perfect example of a guy that had a shortened offseason coming off of surgery, and I think it can impact them the next year. So at least, there's something to, being able to do all the things you normally do during your offseason.
Yeah, it's fair. I would have loved to have seen McClain get maybe 2 or 3 weeks worth of at-bats in the big leagues. That's not going to happen, apparently, and it's just, really no updates either. And I'm not saying they owe us updates, perhaps, but I mean, it's the only thing left for us fans to really look forward to, so they could probably release those or at least give us some semblance of hope from time to time. But yeah, it's not a fun situation right now for the Reds, specifically their lineup. And not only that, but their staff's not all that great either. On the back half, I guess if we're going to keep throwing TBD, Nick, it's working out lately. I guess, Junis came through today and threw the ball about as well as you could expect Junis to throw the ball. But it was all for naught because the Reds' offense was abysmal.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is something to, like, I've said it before, like, if you're not going to have your premium Hunter Green type starters, your Nick Lodolo's kind of this, makeshift 4 or 5 innings out of one pitcher, 3, 4, 5 innings out of another. The Reds don't have enough horses to really do it completely effectively, but the fact that they're even being competitive in a lot of these games with what they have is kind of shows that I think there is some value to this. It'd be interesting to see if the Reds would consider doing some of this more when they're in a more when they're actually competing for games. So, but yeah, I mean, Jakob Junis, guy the Reds have control over next year. I mean, we'll see how the rest of his season goes, but right now, I mean, looks like a guy that you're going to want to pick up that option. I think it's only a $5 million difference as just another guy that can give you, quality innings. And can never have too many of those type of guys.
Yeah, I guess it also could make the Montas trade look a little bit better, maybe, possibly. You could make that argument going into next season. Not that you're looking from a Nick Kral's perspective to try to justify trades, but I guess
Montas' option was a lot more next year too. Wasn't it $20 million for the second year?
Yeah,
it was something like you wouldn't want to probably pick up.
It was a situation where you were losing him. Montas was not going to come back for what he was being owed. I don't see it. Let's not act like he could still come back at the same deal too. So it's not like he even said he'd be happy to come back. He loves Cincinnati. Do I want him back? I don't know. I'm not saying he's bad. You said that you'd think that that's a guy that they might want to look at getting. I don't know. I don't think that helps a whole lot, but I could be wrong. Sam Moll, a guy we were all screaming and yelling for to come in the game yesterday. He doesn't come in the game yesterday. He comes in today. Things go really south for him and Spires. And Reds obviously give up 4, and you find yourself in a position where you're playing a playoff caliber type team. You expect to give up some semblance of runs at some point in the game, and it just turns out that those guys were the ones. And first pitch swinging, who else other than Harrison Bader, of course, to hit a ball at backside opposite field over the wall, and then from there it snowballed a bit. But again, I give these guys a pass, and maybe I'm being too soft, but am I really supposed to get upset about Sam Moll? I mean, he's been really, really good. Bader put a good swing on it. Wasn't their day.
Yeah, I mean, of all the players that deserve a pass in the bullpen, Sam Moll's number 1 is what it is. I thought Spires was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, for what his role is right now, which is just eat innings, like he was fine today.
I don't think he's got great stuff. Like he made some decent pitches for him. I think the ball to Alonso was actually a pretty good pitch for him. Just he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough overpowering stuff to be able to kind of, get guys out on his own. He's got to rely on other guys to get themselves out, Nick. And I just think that that's Spire's makeup. Whether we think that that's sustainable or not, I don't think it is. But he's eating up innings, and I'm not upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a guy that you're going to expect to be on your opening day roster next year. I mean, he's a guy that's your AAA depth, and you need those type of guys. And I think that, especially, I think, Spires when, as a guy that maybe you're calling up last minute, making the spot starts here and there, he's probably more effective than a guy that keeps getting run out there, and everyone sees him and has film on him. But when you're kind of able to just, use him as your depth piece, I think he can be a lot more effective. And he's still really young. I mean, he has not thrown a whole lot of minor league innings either. Drafted in 2020. So, he can put in some work this offseason. I know he's big into, I believe he's big into the whole drive line thing. So,
right.
I assume he'll put in some work, and he's definitely got some talent. He might be able to reinvent a pitch or something that makes him a much different pitcher next year.
Yeah. One good question, and then before we move into Reds MILB, John said, why is Fraley suddenly hitting off left-handed pitchers in September, trying to decide the last time if he can do it before they decide to ultimately deal him? I think, John, it's giving them a reason as to why they can just decide that he's not going to make the team next year, and this is example A. I could be wrong, but I was thinking that today while he was hitting, and I was just like, hey, I think that they're just proving a point at this point. I do. And I don't think that's the nicest thing to do. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe that's too cold-blooded. But I do think that Nick Krall is like, hey, Jake Fraley is going to have to hit against everybody. He's not going to be a platoon guy for us next season. We don't have the space for it. Let him face as many left-handed pitchers as possible, and let's see how it goes. And it's going to go the way we all probably know it's going to go, and that's going to be the reason as to why they're going to be like, hey, hey, Jake, we loved you having you here at the end of the season. They're probably going to be like, it's just a spot where we really need somebody that can be a little more, consistent against left-handed pitching. And it really puts us in a tough spot towards the end of games if you're not capable of doing that. And for that reason, we hope you work on that in the offseason. But we're kind of like Shark Tank. We're out. I could easily see that coming.
I think it's just playing the veterans against a team in a playoff race. I think that's something that's important. I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean,
you think he'd face left-handed pitching though? I think it's that. I think it's also they're, if you didn't play Fraley, then you're having to play Amed Rosario in right field. He's not a very good defensive right fielder. Now Jake Fraley hasn't looked great in this series either, but I think overall he's a better defender. I still think though, if I'm a opposing team, I probably would rather have Jake Fraley getting at bats against lefties than Noelvi Marte maybe DHing and Rosario out in right field. But I think it's just playing the veterans in this type of series. It's a team that's fighting for a playoff spot. Again, I think that's dumb, but that's what I think they're doing here. Okay. Yeah, David Bell's the only one that really knows the answer. Him and or Nick Krall, I guess. So, I don't know. It's really a lost cause at this point.
Yeah.
All right, Reds MILB, Nick. I assume that you don't really have a whole lot. We'll move into a situation where you do have something. Let them know.
Just one. Daytona, they finished their suspended game. So part of this was from yesterday, part of it from today. They lose 10-5 to Bradenton. Of course, they've already clinched a playoff spot. But good day from Sammy Stefora, on base 3 times. Still his 31st bag of the year. Carlos Sanchez also had a really nice day. Haven't talked about him a whole lot. 2 for 3 with the stolen bases. Guy that was a top 30 prospect entering the year, has dealt with a ton of injuries. He actually played in that prospect game in Arizona that I saw. He was one of the future players or whatever. So good day for him. Peyton Stovall on base twice as well. Ricardo Cabrera, the Reds' number 10 ranked prospect, officially placed on the IL. He left the game on Wednesday after stealing a base. So unfortunately, it looks like, it doesn't look like he's not going to be available in the playoff games next week. So that's unfortunate. And then we have a whole bunch of teams in action right now. Louisville, no score in the bottom of the third. Chattanooga down 2-0. Chase Petty is pitching in that one. Get 2 runs early, but seems like he's bounced back Dayton's down 1-0. Of course, Dayton starts their playoffs on Tuesday, and then no score in Game 2 of Daytona and Bradenton. But really, just like the minor leagues, I mean, 2 of the teams have qualified for the playoffs, but really nothing to play for down there either right now, other than Chase Petty.
That's right.
Excited to see what Chase Petty can do the rest of the night. Hopefully, he can finish off a good start.
All right, and quickly, the Reds do play tomorrow. We have, of course, another situation here with the Reds where how they're going to get through 9 innings, we'll find out, I guess. But, hey, David Bell will put his best foot forward with his major league lineups and his teams. So, don't know if you have all the details yet on who, what, when, where, and why, Nick, but what do you got?
I don't have it. I do have the matchup, though. 1:40 start time.
Yep.
TBD against Luis Severino. Severino's 10-6, 3.84 ERA. Severino's a guy that, you take a shot like the Reds did with Montes. It worked out a lot better for the Mets than it did for the Reds. 1 year, $13 million contract. This was a guy that finished in the top 3 in the Cy Young voting in 2017 and 2018, but really fell off a cliff, reinvented himself this year. Pitching really well, allowed 1 run over 7 innings against the Red Sox in his last start, threw a complete game shutout on August 17th, and 2.89 career ERA in 4 starts against the Reds. Allowed just 1 run over 5 innings at GABP back in April. Not a lot of good numbers. 9 for 50 overall. Amed Rosario is 2 for 14, but one of those is a homer. So, yeah, Reds back at it. We'll see you at 9 p.m. tomorrow, Trace.
That we will. For those that don't know, tomorrow there is Chatterbox Bengals. They will be live. Jacob's going to be live for the entirety of the game, and then they'll have the post-game show just right after the game ends. It'll be Jacob and Craig Sandlin holding it down for Chatterbox Bengals. Hopefully they're going to do hopefully they'll get as a loyal of a fan base as we have for their show as we have ours. And I really appreciate everybody tuning in and joining us in the chat each and every single game, even during times like this, because we're not naive. I'm not naive. I understand where this team is, and you do too. It could be easy to pack it in, and we'll continue to do these shows the best we can. Probably the fastest show we've ever done. Probably the fastest show we've ever done. But if I have nothing to say, I have nothing to talk about, I'm not going to sit here and waste your time. You got a Saturday to live, and so do I. You only get so many of them in your life. And as always, if you're feeling like Saturday isn't a really good day, then I want you to just think about mantherapy.org. Okay? Saturday is a great day. There's a lot of college football on right now that you can enjoy, and I hope you enjoy your NFL Sunday tomorrow. Maybe the Reds will make it exciting, and we can have something to talk about tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And if they don't, then I guess we'll be back here tomorrow at 9 o'clock to do another show just like this one, because we got 19 more, and we said we're going to do them all. And by God, just as Marshawn Lynch said, the only reason I'm here is so I don't get fined. Take care, everybody. Love you. Go Reds. We'll see you tomorrow. At least we hope.